everybody, and welcome to the show. You're watching Good Morning Sri Lanka on MTV Sports, and I am your host Vasam for this morning. And we have a guest in the studio for this morning's show who's actually been on the show a few times before, and I've also had the pleasure of interviewing her before. Of course, she's Dr. Maya Cockram. Well, there you go. You may be a parent trying to make sure that your kids don't have a lot of rivalry going on, but at the same time you could be a sibling to someone else as well. So that's some advice to you. What do you think, Maya?
I think it's very good advice, and I think in there they said it starts from childhood, and it certainly does. They also mentioned that it's how parents treat their children. One of the worst things a parent can do to propagate sibling rivalry is to compare siblings.
I see.
Why can't you study hard like your Malli, or why are you so untidy? Why can't you be neat like your Akki or Nangi?
Yeah.
I mean, and also the other thing, as they showed in the video, is about labeling. This is my son, or he's the clever one, or this is the real ruffian. I mean, parents actually use labels like this, and the child then grows up thinking, I'm the clumsy one.
Yeah.
Or
so
I'm the
my brother
one.
or my sister's a smart one and I'm not.
Yes, exactly. So as parents, it's so important the words that we use to refer to our children, and that it's important that we do not label them, especially that we do not label them in a negative way.
I see. Alright, well, we're almost coming to the end of the show, Maya, but before we do, there are two things I want to discuss with you. Number one is the importance of family meetings, and number two, I'd like you to give our viewers some tips on how to overcome the situation of sibling rivalry.
Right. Okay, so a family meeting is a good way to start if there is conflict in the family. And the way a family meeting works is where everybody meets together. Nobody needs to talk if they don't want to, but everybody has to listen. So, for example, if say the older child has got a problem with the younger girl because she keeps coming into the room and bothering him, so then they sit together, and without the parents interrupting, the older child has their say. Then the younger child has their say, and then together they come up with strategies to help.
I see.
And actually family meetings are a really good way of children understanding how to resolve conflict without using violence, without being verbally abusive, but in a calm manner. So you're actually encouraging these kind of skills in children.
And exploring each other's feelings as well, right?
And absolutely, and understanding how the other person feels. In the video clip you just showed, they also mentioned saying sorry. And actually, as parents, it's really important that we teach that to our children, that they hurt somebody, that they do apologize. And I don't mean saying, oh, I'm sorry, but actually really meaning it. And the only way we can be sorry is if we have empathy, if we understand how what we have said or done has affected our sibling.
Yeah. And any final advice which you can give?
Well, in terms of sibling rivalry, your parenting matters. How you parent will affect the outcome of the relationship between each of your children. So love them all equally, but don't treat them equally, but treat them fairly.
I see. And I suppose you need to understand your kids for who they are as well, in their different perspectives.
Yes.
Oh well.
Absolutely, because you might have somebody who is very bright, but then another child might have different talents, and that's appreciating each of your children for the special person they are.
Oh well, thank you very much, Maya, for being with us this morning. Of course, unfortunately we're running out of time and we are coming to an end to this segment, but of course GMSL is not going to end here. We're going to be right back after this commercial break. And welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka. I am Vasam, taking over the show this Thursday morning. Now, of course, it's been a few days since Easter has passed, but here at MTV Sports, we're kind of still celebrating. So we thought we'll bring in a choir that specializes in gospel, sacred and classical music. and they've got an interesting show lined up this Sunday at the Dutch Reformed Church. So we're going to talk a little bit about that in a little while as well. But of course, to introduce the participants, or would I say the members of the choir. So let me first start by introducing you to Dr. Priyeshni, who is the director. Good morning, and thank you for being with us. And we have Manoj, who is the voice trainer, and we have Prashanti as well as Rantilni, who are the other members of the choir. So, to start off, now, Prestantia is the name of the choir.
Right, Prestantia Chorale.
Prestantia Chorale. So, Dr. Priyeshni, what's the story behind that?
Actually, Prestantia means excellence in Latin. And actually, about 2 years ago, I started a music school by the name of Prestantia Music School in Moratua. And then last year, I was asked to, form this choir by some of our members. And then I thought, okay, maybe link it with the music school. So
I see.
And we named it Prestantia Chorale.
All right. So you all have been together for approximately about a year.
1 year, yes.
And of course, like I said earlier, you all do have a show coming up at the end of the week. End of the week as well.
Right.
So this is to commemorate
the Easter session. Yes.
Easter, as well as maybe your first year anniversary.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. So this is our first real performance that we're going to do all on our own.
Okay.
And it's a free event.
I see.
Everybody is invited to come.
Great. So let's get into that shortly, but let me divert our attention to Manoj, who is the voice trainer of the choir. Now, what is it like to be a voice trainer, and what is it that you actually have to do?
So I'm the graduate student in University of Visual and Performing Arts. My main subject is Western singing, actually Western vocal. So that's the way I like to teach the voice training and voice.
And you give exercises.
And
all our sessions start with a very very intensive warm up. And we do some voice clinics so that we can individualize our training for every person.
Okay, so question. This one I'm going to ask the two of you. So now, when you all start your sessions, and when the entire choir gets together, obviously the first thing you all would do is do your vocal exercises, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So is Manoj usually the loudest before things start at a practice?
He has a big voice. He has a big voice.
I see. So tell us a little bit about how this group came together.
Well, yes, I have been singing with another choir in Moratua, which we had to wind up. So therefore, and actually I am the senior citizen in the choir, because all the others
are actually call her our patron. She's our, advisor.
Yeah. But anyway, I think this is a way of enjoying my retirement, because it's so, I think this is one of the best ways you can really, by singing and joining the choir, it makes me feel so relaxed, and it gives me a lot of pleasure in singing with all these people, and especially with Priyeshni. I think her leadership is really great, and she always, as the name says, Prestantia is for excellence. She ensures that we do a perfect job, which I really appreciate.
Did she pay you to say that?
No, she didn't. She didn't.
So you're getting a very, very, very good. You're getting very good feedback from the patron.
Because I'm also a perfectionist, so I think I appreciate that very much. Otherwise, we can't really be up to a good standard. So.
And how about you, Rantilni? Share us a few experiences from the choir.
I joined like a bit later, now almost 1 year, I think. Actually, I came to put my son for singing classes, and then only she asked me, because I'm also a music teacher.
Okay. So have you been in choirs before this?
Yeah. Okay. I'm also training a choir. I mean,
really?
in school, the primary choir and all.
Okay, so when Manoj comes and does his voice training and the other moments, I think, no, that's not how it's supposed to be.
I really learned a lot from Manoj. Actually, it's a great training that he gives. So actually, for these few months, I also have improved a lot in my singing side. So my friends also tells that actually that my voice also has has got a massive improvement there.
So you guys have a lot of nice things to say to each other.
Yeah. It's
Very happy bunch, as you can see. So, Dr. Priyashni, tell me a little bit about the music, the kind of music you all perform.
Yeah, we are actually going to showcase an Easter musical or a cantata, you might say, called The Borrowed Tune by David Clydesdale. He is a Grammy Award winning composer from the States. And actually I had done this musical when I was in the States, where I got my bachelor's, master's and my doctorate, and where I was actually directing the music in a church choir. And I had performed this a long time ago, but I had the music, and when we put the choir together, I always thought, okay, maybe I need, I should do this one day. And I guess this year was, I suppose, the year that we thought we'll do it. So.
Great. But of course, a little while before we started the show, you did tell me that you guys specialize in sacred and gospel. Is there any particular reason you're sticking to that, or do you all do other kind of performances as well?
Yeah, we do as and when the need arises. But mainly we do a lot of weddings as a choir. So for that type of setup, you need more sacred stuff on your repertoire. But we, of course, I don't think we need to just limit ourselves to that, but we will specialize on that and have other genres, experimented in due course, I suppose.
I see. So basically, you all sing for church weddings and stuff?
Yes, we are quite in demand for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, note their faces very well in case you've got a wedding coming up and you need someone in your church to sing something beautiful. And of course, in a little while we will get to see what they sound like. By the way, these are just a few members of the choir. You'll see the entire gang in a little while.
There are only 15 people.
For 15 people, it's quite a substantial.
Is it okay?
So did you have much difficulty getting all these people together?
Tonight?
No, not tonight. Not this morning, but
for practices.
For practices, not just practices, to form the choir.
No, yeah. Well, actually, we started with 7 or 8 people in the beginning, and last year, we performed at 5:30 a.m. at a church, and that was our first real performance.
Okay.
And then with 7 people, we gradually increased our number, and now I think we are at 15.
I see. Yeah. Great.
Of course, people have come and gone also due to several reasons.
Okay.
But
so let's have a little chat about the event that's coming up. Now, The Borrowed Tune is the name of the event. Now, I think you gave me a little bit of an introduction even on camera about what that was about. So can you just elaborate a little more?
Yeah, actually it revolves around 3 characters from the Bible. Nicodemus, Joseph of Arimathea, and Mary Magdalene. And of course Jesus is also there. What we talk about that is actually, we talk about the Jesus' death and resurrection mainly, and there's a drama that also goes with the music, sort of, but in a very...
So it's like a musical.
it's an Easter musical, but since musical means, in real music terms, I'm being very critical here, but musical means more like non-sacred.
Okay.
So I like to call it, or I think it's better to call it a cantata.
Okay.
Because that gives a more sacred, idea to the thing. Yeah.
So how long have you all been practicing for this?
We started in January actually. So from
February. Because January we had a lot of weddings.
Yes.
Because that's a wedding month. So we couldn't get started until March, and we are on now.
I see.
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
And okay, let me ask this from the patron.
Okay.
Tough question.
No tough questions here. Good morning, Sri Lanka. We always pass these questions here. Or do we? But okay, what do you think as a group was the most memorable moment of putting this show together?